It's time for a virtual campfire sit-down with Terry Wyce. Welcome to Wyce Thoughts.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to Wyce Thoughts. I am Terry Wyce, and I am so glad you decided to join me today for our virtual campfire sit-down. Remember, I have a website, wycethoughts.com. Just make sure you spell my name right, W-Y-C-E, wycethoughts.com. There you can listen to each and every episode of the podcast. Check out the blog at the top of the page. Look for Wyce Life, all right, where I wax poetic on things that are just going around my scrambled little brain here and there. And all that and so much more is waiting for you at wycethoughts.com. And while you're there, you can subscribe on your favorite podcast provider if you want to listen right on the website, and so much more. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets about Wyce Thoughts. Won't you share the word? And also on the website, if you don't want to leave a review on a podcast provider, you can actually leave a review right on the website. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, let's get into the program today right away. You know all the other stuff. I'm on X at Terry Wyce. There's a YouTube channel, wycethoughts.com, and the wyceproductions.com website if you're looking for any kind of voiceover, audiobook, anything audio-video related as well. Let's get into the topic at hand on today's program. I'll get that out. I'll spit that right out of the mic. Get that out of the way. What do we want to talk about on this episode of Wyce Thoughts? We're going to talk about feeling the fear and do it anyway. I think this is a very important thing that we need to talk about, especially in today's world, because there's a lot of fear going on. There's a lot of fear mongering. There's a lot of attempts by all assets, the mainstream media, your friends, your family, society in general, to use fear to keep you in line, to keep you from maybe attaining a dream or even pursuing a dream, or to just kind of keep you in your place. And whenever I say we, I'm including myself. Whenever we talk about a topic, I'm including me because it's something I am either A, experienced, B, are going through, or C, think I may have conquered. So just so you know, I'm not here again on some moral mountaintop preaching down among you. Oh, all hail Terry Wyce. No, it's not like that at all. I'm just one of the gang talking with you today. So anyway, fear is also something we do to ourselves. We limit ourselves because sometimes your mind could be your biggest enemy. And let's face it, folks, how many of us really know our minds? I know I don't. That little bugger, that little voice that's inside your head. They've written songs about it, poetry, books. Psychologists have studied it for thousands of years. Your mind, that little voice inside your head, you carry it with you all day. When you're, get up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you say, today's either going to be a good day, or you start an internal dialogue. And sometimes Mr. Fear comes, running down the hall and says, hey, no, don't do it. Don't do it today. Don't do that. Don't think about starting a new career. Don't think about polishing off your resume. You just stay where you're at, or something to that effect, But anyway, so we're talking about feeling the fear and doing it anyway this time on Wyce Thoughts. So let's get right into it, shall we? So fear, as I mentioned, is something that is really prevalent in the world, especially over the past 5 years. I mean, we had the 2020, issues with COVID and everything else. And if you think back to that, how was fear used to control the masses and to make people comply that may have had questions about certain things, whether it be the vaccine mandates, the articles within those about distancing and all this. Does this work? Does that work? There were questions brought up, and you saw a lot of, especially from mainstream news and media, you saw a fear campaign go out instead of information. Okay, but or let me back up. Fear was presented during that time period, in my humble opinion, as information. You also see it in when you go to, let's say, if you wanted to get another job, let's say you're talking with your friends or your family members and say, I'm working at XYZ company. Yeah, I'm making X amount of dollars. I make a decent living, but, I really always wanted to do this. This is my passion. Here I'm just kind of, holding time, biding time, killing time, whatever vernacular you want to use, and say, I'm not totally miserable, but I'm just like, I'm here. But I would really love to do this for a living. And what typically happens? Oh, no, come on. You're going to jeopardize your golden goose. This is paying your bills. This is paying your mortgage. This is paying your car payment. This is helping you, save some money, save for retirement, allow you to take a vacation. You're going to risk all of that? See, and words like that are used. You're going to risk? You're going to risk all that? Or why take a chance? I mean, you're safe now. You'll hear words like risk, safety, uncertainty, just to name a few. And then what ends up happening? Most of us will give in to the fear, the uncertainty, the lack of safety, the lack of knowing the outcome, and just remain static where we are. Most of us will. Now, some feel the fear, confront the fear, and overcome it and do it anyway. So, what type of person are you? I know the type I am. I know the type I used to be. I know the type I am morphing into. I used to be in the latter. I used to be like, I'm just going to stay with the status quo. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I got a cushy job here. I'm making good money. But what I found for myself was eventually, by doing that, going against a desire, going against my, dare I say, calling, going against my calling, as it were, I was increasingly getting more miserable inside because I was going against the flow of the current of what my, I don't know if you want to call it a soul, my being, my inner spirit, what have you, wants to do and wanted to do. Hence, why Wyce Productions came to life. Hence, why Purple Pit Studios came alive. Hence, why I dipped my toe in the water a little bit, swished it around, then I stuck my leg down to my I almost said down to my ankle, down to my knee, down to your ankle ain't much, down to my knee, and said, you know what? I'm jumping in. Yeah, the water's a little cold. It's a little uncertain. I don't know if there's bacteria in there. I'm jumping in, and we'll deal with it with things as they happen. It's still a work in progress because there are still some things I'm fearful of in the business world with regards. And I wouldn't even say maybe fearful. I'm trepidatious. Let's say that. I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, you can't go in with blinders on. You have to have some sense of direction, some sense of a realization, some sense of reality. So I'm not telling you, believe me, I'm not offering up advice to or counsel to say, just quit your $100,000 a year job and go in and start right now, open up a fabric store in your local I mean, if that's what you want to do, God bless you, go for it. But, do it. Do what your spirit, your chi, your soul, your heart's desire is. But there's ways, especially now in today's world, that you can do it and you can gradually move towards it. I started doing like audiobooks and light voiceover work and things of that nature, and audio production, some video production stuff. Doing this podcast here, amongst other things. And then other people have reached out and says, hey, I like the way you do your podcast. Can you make me some intros for my podcast? Can you make me they call them bumpers. A bumper is between like segments. Can you make me with some voiceover? I just started generally here and there for a few people. And then I have morphed into, Wyce Productions, Purple Pit Studios, amongst other things. I would say, we have to feel the fear and do it anyway. And there's ways to confront fear, whether it's in a business sense or even your personal life. Let's say let's shift to that too. Let's say you want to make a change in your personal life. You want to, lose 50 pounds. Let's say you think you're 50 pounds overweight, okay, and you want to lose 50 pounds. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm afraid it won't work. I've tried. I've lost 8 pounds, and then I went right back and I ate a whole cheesecake or something. There's fear. There's trepidation. There's uncertainty there. And it's hard work. Let's face it. It's work to change your life, whether professionally or personally. It takes work. So you have to have perseverance. But being afraid, don't let fear stop you. Start doing research on weight loss. Start looking at it. What's one change I could make today and continue for the next week? One thing that I can do that'll get me on the path to lose that 50 pounds. Now, let's say, for instance, you find yourself snacking after 8 p.m. in the evenings. All right, no more snacking after 8 p.m. at night, period. I don't even care if we're out at an event, nothing. The cutoff time, there's no more snacking. I can have water, tea, coffee, whatever. That's fine, but there is no snacking on solid foods after 8 p.m., period. There's one change you can make for a week. And then at the end of that week, did you do it? Yeah, I did. It's not a problem. The first 3 days, because I was used to it, was a pain in the butt. All right, then add something to that. All right, what's another thing that I can do for a week, starting this week, and do for the next 7 consecutive days that'll help me, again, conquer the fear and move me further along on the path for my weight loss goals? All right, so we already have no eating after 8 p.m., nothing solid foods. What's the other thing? You know what? I'm going to make an effort every other day to walk for 10 minutes, whether it's inside standing on a treadmill, on a bicycle, or you go outside for a walk. Just 10 minutes. Every other day this week, I'm going to go for a walk for just 10 minutes. Get some fresh air outside or do it inside if weather doesn't permit that. Then, at the end of that week, hey, okay. You see where I'm going with this? You're gradually conquering those fears and putting yourself on the path to do what your heart's desire and what your goals and dreams are. Fear is a big thing. It stops a lot. It stops industry. It stops personal development. It stops people from reconciling when there's an argument between them, whether it's between a friend or a family member, okay? Oh, I said some horrible things. I did this and that, and we haven't spoken for a while. Reach out. Well, what if they hang up the phone and call me a bad name? Okay, then they hang up the phone and call you a bad name. Are you going to sit around and wonder about the what ifs? Either way, you'll get an answer, right? You'll get an answer. If that's your heart desire and you want to reach out to the said individual and say, listen, things were said, our argument got heated, or you felt I did this, or I felt that you did that, and I'd like to talk about it and see if can we just resolve it and move forward? Because I value your friendship. I value you as whatever. And don't be afraid to make the first move. Don't let your vanity and your ego stop what could possibly be a great reconciliation and great future ahead. Fear is a big thing. It'll stop you, like I said, in your personal life, in your professional life, and in your own mind. Your mind is programmed for pleasure, okay? It's the human condition. We are programmed to gravitate towards easy, and we are programmed to gravitate towards safe and not challenging. We are, at our core, dare I say, lazy creations. However, we can train ourselves. We can conquer the fear. Fear has an acronym. You've probably seen it all over the internet. Face everything and rise, F-E-A-R, face everything and rise, or fear everything and run. which path will you take? Hey, thanks for listening to the program today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you out there. And remember, to see a change in the world, you have to be the change in the world you want to see. It all starts with you, the person looking back at you in the mirror every morning. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others. If you want to tweet at me on Twitter, it's at Terry Wyce. Stop by the website, wycethoughts.com, just to make sure you spell my name right, W-Y-C-E, wycethoughts.com. And hey, leave us a positive rating and review on your favorite podcast provider, won't you? Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets about Wyce Thoughts. And I look forward to gathering yet again around the virtual campfire with you real soon. Take care.